Good evening and welcome to Talk to the CEO Live. I'm Darielle Snipes with the CMSD News Bureau. We were having some technical difficulties, so this is actually live to tape, and we will not be taking questions this time, but definitely the next time we have this segment, we will take questions live. But I have some questions already prepared for Mr. Gordon, so we'll go ahead and ask those. But without further ado, I would like to welcome CMSD CEO and Superintendent Eric Gordon. Welcome.
Great to see you, Darielle. Thanks for doing this again.
Not a problem. So this week was an exciting week when students from across the district came together to approve proposals that were applied to for the Get More's Opportunities Fund. I mean, what did you think about that, seeing these students work together to give grants to students, teachers, and other initiatives throughout the district?
So this is our realization of Mackenzie Scott's $20 million gift to the district. And what I wanted to do with this and what the board supported was actually give it to the students and help them become philanthropists. And so they allocated the first $400,000 of grants on Tuesday after spending a day reading 93 grants totaling over $5 million. They allocated things like driver's licenses for students and STNA support for our students getting their clinicals done, trips to Washington, D.C. for middle school students, and helping support a trip to Italy for high school students. Some scholarships for educators who work in the district who want to become teachers, some professional development and support to avoid teacher burnout for our existing teachers, and even some funding to help renovate one of our auditoriums on the west side to match the auditorium we have at John Hay on the east side, so that we have performance spaces across the city. So it was just incredible to watch our young people, 45 kids from across our high schools, become philanthropists, and they just did an amazing job.
And they were very thoughtful, and they took it to heart. They really thought about what they were doing and had great discussions and really convinced each other why one proposal should get the money and shouldn't.
Yeah, they really spent a lot of time and very thoughtful conversations. They were really researching the proposals. They were looking up on their phone, does this make sense? Is it reasonable? Is it enough money? Is it too much money? And they gave feedback. So every one of the people who submitted a grant will be getting feedback, whether they got funded or not, so that those that did not get funding, because there was way more ask than money, can apply for the next round, which will be on May 25th.
And many of the students, I mean, they really liked being a part of this and having a voice and making sure that the stuff that they granted would last, longer after they graduate.
Well, we had two local philanthropists come in and start the day by talking with the students about the difference between philanthropy and charity. And one described it as charity is when you help somebody who's hungry, but you haven't actually changed the problem. They're going to be hungry again tomorrow. Philanthropy is when you have empowered in some way or changed someone or something in some way. And so I heard students talking about it, for example, the student trip to Italy, really having a conversation about, well, but that once that's done, there's not more money for the next trip to Italy, and other students saying, yeah, but a trip to Italy would change these kids' lives. We've got to do that. So they really got into just incredibly thoughtful conversations and again, made tremendous gifts, 22 grants ranging from $450 to $250,000 for things that support students, support adults, and support longer-term improvements for our community.
And this is just the beginning. They'll be back in May to do this again for $400,000. Talk about the bigger plan for the next 5 years and what students will be doing.
So we've set this up so that there's $4 million a year for 5 years, and hopefully getting interest too. That they'll allocate $400,000 a month, 10 months a year. And so we're also hopeful that by showing the world what our young philanthropists are doing, others will gift into this fund so that it can live beyond 5 years, and that this becomes just part of who we are as a school community. And most importantly, I want our young people to see that when they've graduated high school, they can be on the board of the Cleveland Foundation or the Gunn Foundation, or they can be staff or the CEO of these philanthropic organizations. So this isn't just even about the goodness they're doing now, but it's the goodness that they're going to continue to do.
And it's just going to make CMSD and our community a better place to live.
It's going to make it a better place in the way that's through the eyes of our young people.
For sure. Well, let's switch gears right now. So on the minds of many is there going to be enough funding for was the funding approved by the city and county to keep Say Yes Cleveland specialists in the school buildings?
So the county has taken up a measure to provide some additional support. I believe it is not fully approved yet. It has to go through the process, but I know it's been proposed and sent for approval. The city and the district have also put in resources, and so as I've said every time, I'm confident that we have solved this problem, and it looks like if it hasn't already been done, and I've kind of lost track of the calendar, it will be done. And just kudos to the members of county council and the county executive and his team, the city council and their support, as well as our board to close this gap. And we're working on both an interim and long-term solution that draws down federal dollars that are designed for prevention and intervention to make sure that we don't run into this problem again.
Wonderful. So let's just switch gears to the All City Musical. It is back after
It is.
3 years, a 3-year hiatus. And this year the students will be performing in the Heights beginning this weekend. I mean, it's just so wonderful to see them back on stage.
It is so wonderful. They're going to be at the Mimi Ohio Theater right in Playhouse Square. We want our kids on professional stages, and they're there. They are doing In the Heights, which is an incredibly difficult book to get. And it's a complex show that I know they're going to do great at. I haven't seen the show yet, but they've been in tech and dress all week, and we've had a lot of sneak peeks that I've heard from phenomenal feedback for. Our middle school performances are today and tomorrow, and then the show is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so playhousesquare.org and just search In the Heights and it'll come right up. Tickets are only $15 in general admission. So you get to see a Broadway caliber production for $15.
And our students are so talented.
They are incredibly talented, and the pandemic didn't seem to do anything to them.
No, they just were waiting to get back on stage.
That's right.
So that's great. Well, registration for the CMSD Summer Learning Experience is open. Coming out of COVID, this is the 3rd year that we'll be doing this program. And this is a wonderful way for students to stay engaged during the summertime, and something that, is going to stay throughout the years to come.
Yeah, it's our 3rd summer of Summer Learning Experience. We built it exactly the same way: finish, enrich, and engage. We want to keep finishing that unfinished learning and reading and math in particular. We want to do enrichment. We want to continue to build out those complex tasks that are worth productive struggle, those problem-based learning experiences, and have our demonstration of learning days where our young people get to show off just like they're going to do on the stage this weekend, right? Show off what they know and learn. And then we want to end the day in the afternoon with engaging activities, out-of-school time activities, camps and things of that nature. It is free. It comes with breakfast and lunch. We have sites all the way across the city. All you have to do is go to the CMSD webpage, clevelandmetroschools.org, and click on Summer Learning Experience to sign up.
That's right, and it's from June 20th to July 21st for pre-K or K through 8, and June 26th through July 21st through high schoolers.
That's right.
For high schoolers.
That's right. High school starts 1 week later because of our year-round calendar, and it is for rising kindergartners, students who will be in kindergarten this coming fall, all the way to high school. And high school has more programming that is connected to internships and summer jobs and things of that nature. And actually a course about building our philanthropy culture, as we talked about earlier.
Oh, that's great. And it's also a great time for students to try something new if they haven't tried something. Like the one example that I love is the marching band at John Marshall. Students who've never played an instrument learn how to not only play the instrument, but then walk and play the instrument. And they were able to do that in Summer Learning Experience.
That's right. So the camps are a big part of it. That's why the enrich and engage are so important. The kinds of things that students get to experiment with in a kind of a no-fault way, because there's no grade at the end of the day. There's just keeping you enriched, keeping you engaged, and finishing that unfinished learning.
Perfect. So definitely register. So CMSD is hosting the Mega Health Expo at the end of the month, and this is part of the Integrated Health Initiative. Families will be able to receive free health screenings or talk to healthcare professionals about something that they want, but also students will be able to talk to people in the field if that's what they want to do, is go into healthcare as a part of our PACE program. I mean, this is a really great expo. It's going to be Friday, April 28th and Saturday, April 29th at East Professional Center. I mean, this is a great way to get our community healthy and to talk about what we need to talk about, which is our health sometimes.
That's right. Well, and a lot of doctors and medical professionals will tell you the single best prevention for health is education. And so we are working really hard with our partners Say Yes and many other partners to make sure that we have school-based healthcare, integrated school-based healthcare citywide. The city has granted us some resources for it. We got a state grant for it. We've been putting them in. Metro Health has been a great partner. PEP Behavioral Health has been a great partner, and many, many more. And our goal is over time that we'll actually have school-based healthcare hubs in our schools and then spokes through telehealth, and that kids and families will be able to get their primary care right on site with the assistance of our own health professionals, our nurses and our LPNs. This integrated health fair is kind of a launch and kickoff and visibility of health screens and understanding health professions and letting us talk about bringing healthcare to our schools and making that even another reason that you want to be part of our school community.
Yeah, so definitely come out and participate in this fair. It's going to be great. So the thing that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but we have to, is the search for the next CEO. It's entering its next phase. Now, I must say that I know that you are not a part of the process. This is the school board and ALMA group, advisory group, spearheading the search for the next CEO. But is there anything that you can tell us about the next phase and what's happening?
Well, yeah, as I understand it, the board feels like they're still on track. They have committed to bringing 2 to 3 finalists to the community in either the last week of April or the first week of May. As I understand it, that's still the plan. They have collected a large number of names of people who have been nominated for interview panels, and so I know there's going to be student panels, parent panels, educator panels. There's going to be a deliberate panel of our labor leaders across the district, panels of various community partners from across the community, and that those panels, a couple of those panels will be live streamed and recorded so that people across the city can watch and give feedback on the 2 to 3 candidates. And the board hopes to be naming a candidate sometime in early to mid-May. So everything, it feels like it's right on track. We were talking earlier, I get to be the class of 2023. The goal is not to replace me. The goal is to find the next great superintendent and let he or she be him or herself. And I am really confident that we're going to have a great CEO coming in on July 1.
I understand that. But it's also great with the transparency that's happening and the fact that the community, students, teachers, parents, and everyone that wants to be can have a voice, can have a say, and submit questions, and then also ask questions of the CEO candidate. I think that's a wonderful thing that they can have a say in who's going to be the next CEO.
Yeah, and if people are watching or listening to this right now, the last day to submit questions that could be asked to the candidates is tomorrow, Friday, April 14th. So if people would want to get on the website clevelandmetroschools.org/CEO search, easy for me to say, and just click on the digital form and submit a question or a set of questions that you hope will be asked. Obviously, we can't ask every single question, but those questions will be screened and offered to the interview panels to ask to the candidates.
Wonderful. So the district is offering school choice fairs for kindergarten, pre-K through 8, enrollment fairs. The last one is on Monday at East Professional Center. This is a great way for parents, especially for entering pre-K and kindergarten, or they really want their child to go to a different school to see what all our pre-K through 8 schools have to offer. This is our first year doing this. There were 4. What do you just think about the fact that we're offering this like we do the high school choice fairs?
Well, one of the things we know is so important in this community is choice. And even in the CEO search we were just talking about, the number one piece of feedback that we got was protect and cherish families' rights to choose their schools. And so if we are going to protect and cherish that, then we have to continue to find ways to make it easier to do. And so these pre-K-8 choice fairs allow families to come kind of in regions and see what are the schools in a particular region, what do they offer, what kind of out of school time, do people know that there's a full-time health professional, that there is a 0 period or 9 period where we're offering art, music, and phys ed activities to extend the day, about our breakfast and lunch program, about the technology that we offer our students, just any number of things that these fairs are going to allow, hopefully, to make a lot easier for families, not only those pre-K and K as they're making their first choice, but also families that maybe are new to the community or maybe want to revisit from a charter or parochial school and come back to CMSD.
Wonderful. So the next fair is on Monday. Just want to let everyone know, Monday at East Professional Center from 5 to 7 p.m. So definitely, if you haven't been to the first three, come out to this last one so that you can see what all our schools have to offer. So the end of the year, it's hard to believe that the year has gone by so fast, but the end of the year celebrations are about to begin. What's on tap?
Well, you know, we always have Rock Your World with STEAM, so can't wait for that. That's our Arts, Sciences, and Family Festival down at Rock Hall in the Great Lakes Science Center and on the mall in between the two properties. And it's just literally thousands of our kids demonstrating their learning in the arts and sciences. And it's just an incredible, incredible event. I can't wait to see what they pull off this year. Last year they had a combined instrumental and vocal with hundreds and hundreds of kids singing Cleveland Rocks.
Yes.
So I got to see how they're going to top that. It's graduation time too. So I've got as many graduations as I can pack onto my calendar. So that I can get out and celebrate with our young people and their families. Our K-8 schools are also having their end of the year celebrations and promotion ceremonies. All of that information is on our website. And there's just any number of other things that'll be happening, you know, those closing rituals for the school year. It's hard to believe, you know, we're less than 7 weeks to the end for most of the traditional schools this year.
Yes, and you know, I mean, how would you feel? I mean, I know that you've been CEO for more than a decade, but as this being your last school year, I mean, how do you feel about this being not just your last, but how do you feel this year went? I mean, this seems like the most normal year that we've had since COVID. Not that you can talk about normal and things, but you know, it just seems pretty like things are getting back on track for the most part.
You know, people are all still grappling with what happened and what they experienced with. But what we've seen is so much resiliency in our kids and our families and our educators, and just great things happening in classrooms and schools all across the city. We've really been working hard to do more demonstrations of learning. We're actually incentivizing some of our schools that want to change out the traditional parent conference so that you as a parent can come see your student demonstrating learning, your child demonstrating learning. So there's all of that, and yet it's also been a really tough time in our community. We've had a lot of safety concerns, particularly coming to and from school, and so we spent a lot of time this spring really trying to remind people to, if you see something, say something. Use that 838 SAFE number or clevelandmetroschools.org/safe. And anonymously let us know so that we can make sure that we're being preventative and protective of our kids and our families and our educators in our schools. So we've got to keep working through this as a community, and we've got to help our community not feel like that's the only option that they have. So that said, it's also hard to believe it's already graduation time, and it's already time to start wrapping up the school year and heading into the summer. So it is my last, but I haven't even fully got that in my head yet because, I'm still busy just doing the job that I love,
True, but a lot of people are still giving you celebrations. Recently, WKYC did a This Is Your Life kind of segment with Mentor Mondays. You've been a mentor for many years with many students, and some of those students came back to say thank you and to talk about how you have had a great impact on their lives. I mean, just talk to me about, mentoring all the students that you have, and when they came and said thank you, how that made you feel.
It was a overwhelming experience. First of all, it was a surprise. I didn't know that I thought I was going there for an interview. But it just truly just a humbling and overwhelming experience to see a few of the many remarkable young people that I've had the opportunity to know and to mentor, and I don't know, words still fail me, there's just so many amazing kids in this community that all of us have the opportunity to mentor. And I've encouraged, for years for people to consider signing up to be a Say Yes mentor, so that when we send our kids off to college, we check in with them routinely and make sure they're doing okay. And, oh, by the way, keep them connected to Cleveland so they come home, And so, yeah, it was a great great experience.
Wonderful. Do you plan on mentoring after you step down as?
Oh, I'm already signed up as a College Now mentor. I'm waiting for my assignment for my new mentee. So yeah, absolutely yes. And I actually also just recently was talking about an opportunity to mentor through the Minds Matter program as well.
Nice.
So yeah, I will find ways to continue to stay involved in supporting our kids in our community. It'll just be from a different point of view.
I understand. Well, I want to thank you for your time this evening for Talk to the CEO, and I appreciate your time.
Absolutely, and thanks to everybody who was patient waiting for this to be live.
Yes.
And we will be live back when we're here in May.
Yes, we will. And so I would like to thank you for watching Talk to the CEO with Eric Gordon. Have a great night.